everyone, I am the professor. Now that we have studied the basics of calculating number of factors and also we have studied the basics of factorials, a concept that arises is trailing zeros. So we'll be doing trailing zeros in a number and then we'll move on to factorials also. So firstly we'll discuss trailing zeros in a number per se. So let's see what do we mean by trailing zeros. So trailing zeros, suppose I have a number 605,000. Okay, so this is my number. Now the number of trailing zeros in this number are just 3. We don't need to calculate all the zeros that are present. We just need to calculate from the left hand side, from the right hand side actually, from the right hand side how many zeros are present consecutively. Okay, so there are 3 zeros in this number. So the number of trailing zeros for this number is 3. So how do we get a 0? To get a 0, we need a 2, and when it is multiplied by a 5, I'll get a 0, that is 10, right? So I need at least one 2 multiplied with at least one 5 to get at least one 0. So any number that has a 0 must necessarily have at least one 2 and at least one 5, right? So we have already discussed this thing while we were doing the factorization of a number. Now let's see, if I have a number like 1000 raised to the power 10, so I need to find the number of trailing zeros in this number. So if I keep on multiplying 1000 10 times, that would become a pretty large number and it would get difficult for me to calculate the number of trailing zeros if I do it manually. So let's take 1000, I can write 1000 as 10 to the power 3, right? And 10 to the power 3 raised to the power 10. So a rule of indices that when a power is raised to another power, the powers get multiplied. So this can be written as 10 to the power 30. That means this big number has 30 zeros, 30 trailing zeros. 30 trailing zeros that are present in this number. Okay, another number, let's say it's 10,000 raised to the power 40 multiplied by 100 raised to the power 25. These are not very tough questions, these are very basic questions. However, it becomes important for us to understand the concept and some basic rules of indices also. So this is a big number, 10,000, right? And if I multiply it 40 times and write so many zeros, it would get very tedious. So I can write this 10,000 as 10 to the power 4, right? 10 to the power 4 raised to the power of 40 multiplied by 10 square raised to the power 25. Now again, following the rule of indices, this 4 will be multiplied with this 40 and 2 will be multiplied with 25. So I'll get 10 to the power 160 multiplied by 10 to the power 50. And another rule of indices, if the bases are same and they are in product, then the powers will get added. So it is 10 to the power 210. So there are 210 trailing zeros in this number, in this expression. Okay, however, there is a slightly a bit confusion and students often make this mistake. If there had been a plus sign instead of a multiplication, then how our result would have changed. So I'll write it again, 10,000 raised to the power 40 plus 100 raised to the power 25. Now, if I again do this and I'll get 10 to the power 160 raised to the power 10 to the power 50. I hope you get that. It's the same process that we did here. I've just copied it from this side so that we don't have to waste another couple of minutes doing the calculation. Now, since it's in addition, I can't simply add the powers because there is no such rules of indices that when the bases are same and they are in addition, we can add or multiply the powers. So what maximum that we can do is we can calculate, we can take 10 to the power 50 as common from both these numbers, right? Because it is higher than 10 to the power 50 and this is 10 to the power 50 only. So if I take this common, I'll get 10 to the power 110 plus 1. Now I know that in this expression, in this bracket, the unit digit has to be necessarily 1. Okay, so no matter how many zeros are present in this bracket, the unit digit is 1, so there is no trailing zero per se coming from this bracket. However, there are 50 zeros that are present outside the bracket, and these 50 would be the trailing zeros that would be available in this expression. So there are 50 trailing zeros in this expression. Now let's move further. How about the trailing zeros in a factorial? So if I know it is factorial 100 and I need to calculate the number of trailing zeros in this expression. Okay, factorial 100 is given to me. So for trailing zeros, I need the powers of 2 and 5, right? Because only powers of 2 and 5 in combination will give me a 10. So let's see how many 2's and how many 5's are present. So if I check for the 2's, we have already discussed then this in the process when we were doing prime factorization for factorials. So calculating the powers of 2, I'll just keep on dividing the number by 2 until the remainder is less than 2. So 100 divided by 2 will give me 50. So these are 2's that are present. 50, then 25, then 12, then 6, then 3, and then 1. So there are so many 2's present. I'm not calculating it because it's just a waste of time for 5's, because I need 2 powers of 2 and powers of 5. So 5, I will have 25's coming from here, and then 20 divided by 5, I'll get a 4. So the total number of 5's that are present are 24, and obviously 2's are way more than 24. So I can take as many 2's as I want, because 5 is in short supply in this case. So there are 24 powers of 5. That means the maximum tens that I can form is 24. So there necessarily have to be 24 trailing zeros in factorial 100. Okay, and since factorial 100 is a very important factorial, you need to remember this, that there are 24 factorials, 24 trailing zeros present in factorial 100. However, it is very easy to calculate, so it's not a very big deal. Now let us look how to calculate the number of trailing zeros in product of factorials. So if I have a product, let's say 125 factorial into 75 factorial, okay, and this is in multiplication. So I need to calculate the trailing zeros of this number. So I need to calculate the number of trailing zeros that come from this, then the number of trailing zeros that come from this factorial, and then I'll do the addition. Since it's in product, I can add the powers to get the total number of trailing zeros that would be present in this expression. Let's do it. Since we have already done a few questions on calculating the powers for factorials, I think it's unnecessary to calculate the number of 2's present, because it's for sure that 5 is the number that is going to be in short supply. So I'll just calculate the number of 5's, and I can take that much 2's also and form 10's, right? Forms group of 10. So the number of 5's that are present in factorial 125. So if I divide it by 5, I'll get a 25, then 5, and then 1. So there are 31 5's that are present. So that means 31 trailing zeros are present in 125, because obviously there would be at least 31 2's that are present. There would be way more than that, but that's for sure that 31 pairs of 2 and 5 can be formed. In 75, if I divide it by 5 again, 15, then I get a 3. So there are 18 5's that are present. So that means 18 trailing zeros are present in factorial 75. Now I can write this as 10 to the power 31, because it would be some number multiplied by 10 to the power 31, and then factorial 75 would also be some number multiplied with 10 to the power 18, right? And since the bases are same, I can simply add the powers over here. So 31 plus 18 would give me 49 trailing zeros. So there are 49 trailing zeros that are present in this expression. Let's do one more question based on a combination of factorials and numbers, and try to find out the number of trailing zeros, and then we'll wind up this video lecture. So let's take an example: factorial 80 raised to the power of 4 multiplied by 15 raised to the power of factorial 4. Okay, so I need to find out the number of trailing zeros present in this expression. Okay, so this expression goes like factorial 80 raised to the power 4 multiplied by 15 raised to the power factorial 4. Now students get scared seeing this kind of an expression, because there is a factorial present in the number, there is a factorial present in a power, and it becomes slightly confusing on how to tackle such questions. So we'll try to develop a very easy to go approach, and we'll do it step by step so that it becomes clear how to proceed with any such questions that come your way. So firstly, we have factorial 80 here. So since it's a factorial already, there would be some trailing zeros present in this number. right? So we need to find out the number of trailing zeros present in factorial 80. Okay, so to calculate that, I'll divide it by 5 because I know there would be ample number of 2's that are available. So I'll divide it by 5, I'll get 16, then further dividing it by 5, I'll get a 3, right? So there are 19 fives that are present. That means 19 trailing zeros are present in factorial 80 itself. I haven't raised it to the fourth power yet. So this expression, if I just take the number 10 and try to figure out how many 10s are available, so I can write it as 10 to the power 19 raised to the power 4, right? Because whatever number other than this 10 is available would be raised to the power of 4 separately. Okay, now going for 15, since 15 is not a factorial, there aren't any trailing zeros available in 15. So 15 raised to whatever power, right? We have already discussed this in cyclicity, that 5 raised to any number would always result in the unit digit being 5 itself, right? They have a cyclicity of 1. So that means there would not be any trailing zero available from this part of the question. So I'm just bothered about this part, right? So this is, and following the rule of indices again, 10 raised to the power a raised to the power b, that means a and b can be multiplied. So 19 into 4 is 76. So there are 76 trailing zeros that are available. Okay, I will not write it. 76 trailing zeros are present in this expression. However, now let's try to modify this same question a bit. So I'll write it as factorial 80 raised to the power 4 multiplied with factorial 15 raised to the power factorial 4. Now it looks more scary because there is a factorial here, there is a factorial here, and the power is also in factorial now. So I have 3 factorials and one of the factorial is raised to another power. So let's see how to combat these type of questions. So for factorial 80 to the power 4, I have already calculated that this gives me 76 trailing zeros, right? I hope this is clear from this part. So I'll simply write it 76 trailing zeros present in factorial 80 raised to the power 4. Now what is our problem in this question is that how to go about this part. Factorial 50 raised to the power factorial 4. So it's a very easy, and if you just follow the basics, you will get the answer right, that's for sure. So let's see how many trailing zeros are present in factorial 15. So factorial 15 when divided by 5 will give me 3, right? So I can say there are 3 trailing zeros that are present in factorial 15 itself, and this is raised to the power of factorial 4. So this is 10 to the power 3 raised to the power of factorial 4. Since there are ample number of 2's present, that means 5's are in short supply. So I can say the number of 5's that are present are same as the number of 10's that would be present in factorial 15 itself. So I've come to this point, 10 to the power 3 raised to the power factorial 4. So these are the number of trailing zeros that are present in this part of the expression. Now that means that I know factorial 4 is equal to 24, right? 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 will give me 24. So that means 10 to the power 3 raised to the power 24. See, that is why factorial 4, factorial 5, these are the basic factorials that you should know, because you will come across these quite often. So now again applying the similar rule of indices, a to the power b, 10 to the power a to the power b, that means a and b can be multiplied. So 3 into 24 will give me 72. So there are 72 trailing zeros present in this part, 76 present in this part. So that means 10 to the power 72, 10 to the power 76. Since this expression is in multiplication, I can add the powers because bases are same. That means 76 plus 72. This will give me 148. Yeah, 148 trailing zeros are present in this expression. So that's about this video lecture. Thank you for watching. Keep studying. Stay safe. I'm the professor. See you. Bye bye.